Garrett Vaughn tore my proposal in half in front of 32 executives like it was worthless trash. The silent conference room felt colder as everyone stared at me, waiting for me to break down. I had spent 6 exhausting months building that deal from scratch with endless sleepless nights. But Garrett laughed at the numbers before even reading the full vision behind the proposal. "Pathetic work," he said while throwing the ripped papers across the glossy table. His smug smile made it clear he enjoyed humiliating people in public. My chest tightened with anger, embarrassment, and disbelief all at the same time. Yet instead of crying, I calmly stood up and thanked him for his time. The room fell silent because nobody expected me to walk away without arguing back. But I wasn't leaving defeated that day. I was leaving with a purpose. Outside in the underground parking lot, I sat inside my car for nearly an hour. The humiliation replayed in my mind while something inside me slowly transformed into determination. Garrett Vaughn was known as a ruthless billionaire with power across the entire industry. People praised his brilliance publicly, but privately many feared the darkness behind his success. Please subscribe and share our channel. We make powerful stories and videos for you every day. Your support helps us continue bringing unforgettable stories filled with emotion and justice. I worked as director of acquisitions for a smaller company trying to compete in the market. That's where I met Mira Costa, a brilliant engineer with revolutionary technology ideas. Mira wasn't motivated only by money or fame like most investors assumed about innovators. Her younger sister suffered from muscular dystrophy, and her invention was deeply personal to her. My proposal protected Mira's ownership while funding her research for the next 5 years. It was designed to help people while still building a profitable future for everyone involved. Garrett never cared enough to understand any of that before mocking my work publicly. He judged everything from the first page and dismissed the entire idea without hesitation. That night, I remembered every talented person Garrett had emotionally destroyed over the years. Many lost their confidence, their careers, and even their mental health because of his cruelty. I thought about Lydia, who nearly ended her life after Garrett publicly humiliated her campaign strategy. Months later, Garrett secretly reused her ideas and claimed the success entirely for himself. Then there was Javier, an inventor forced into signing away valuable patent rights under pressure. A week later, Garrett fired him anyway and erased his contribution from company records. I decided then that I didn't want revenge built on violence or hatred or chaos. I wanted justice that exposed the truth and stopped Garrett from hurting more innocent people. The next morning, I called Mira and told her everything that happened during the meeting. Surprisingly, she wasn't shocked because Garrett had threatened her months earlier behind closed doors. Garrett warned Mira that powerful connections could destroy her reputation if she refused his partnership offer. He hinted that regulators might suddenly question the safety of her technology systems. Hearing that changed everything because this situation became far bigger than my humiliation alone. It became a fight against a dangerous man abusing power to control talented people. Over the next 2 weeks, I quietly contacted people Garrett had damaged in the past. To my surprise, many were waiting for someone brave enough to finally challenge him. Nayan, a former board member, shared confidential documents exposing suspicious financial manipulations before the IPO. The numbers painted a disturbing picture of fraud hidden beneath polished investor presentations. Elliot, an investigative journalist, revealed Garrett had threatened media outlets to silence damaging stories. He had spent years collecting evidence while waiting for the perfect opportunity to publish everything. Devon, a former programmer, explained how Garrett stole innovative ideas from employees without giving credit. Anyone who resisted him was pushed out and professionally blacklisted across the industry. The biggest surprise came when I secretly met Garrett's wife, Elise, at a quiet cafe downtown. She looked exhausted, nervous, and emotionally broken despite her glamorous public image. Elise finally admitted Garrett had controlled and abused her emotionally for more than 12 years. Then she showed fading bruises hidden carefully beneath the sleeve of her expensive designer jacket. My stomach twisted because this story was no longer only about corruption inside business offices. It was about protecting people trapped under the control of a deeply dangerous man. Together, we created a careful plan based entirely on evidence, truth, and legal exposure. We wanted Garrett destroyed by his own actions rather than lies or manipulation. Mira pretended she wanted to work with Garrett and arranged a private meeting at his office. Hidden inside her elegant pen was a tiny recording device designed by Devon. Garrett spent hours pretending to support Mira before revealing his real intentions and arrogance. He planned to steal her technology while keeping her powerless inside his company. Worst of all, Garrett laughed about ruining women who challenged his authority in business environments. He openly admitted destroying careers to maintain control and protect his fragile ego. Listening to the recordings later that night made my blood run completely cold with shock. For the first time, I understood the full scale of Garrett's cruelty and manipulation. The next morning, Elliot published a massive investigative article exposing Garrett's fraud and abuse history. The story spread online within minutes and instantly created panic inside the company headquarters. At the same time, Devon delivered confidential evidence directly to investors, regulators, and board members. Suddenly, Garrett's empire started collapsing faster than anyone expected possible. Elise publicly announced a campaign supporting victims of workplace harassment and domestic abuse among executives without saying Garrett's name directly. Everyone immediately understood exactly who she meant. By afternoon, the board held an emergency meeting while investors rushed to pull their money out. The company's stock value crashed as reporters flooded every corner of the building. I waited calmly inside Garrett's office until he stormed in shaking with uncontrollable anger and fear. For the first time in years, the powerful billionaire looked small and completely helpless. Garrett demanded to know why I destroyed his life over one rejected proposal from months earlier. I told him this wasn't about rejection. It was about justice for every person he harmed. Within days, Garrett lost his position, faced criminal investigations, and watched his reputation completely collapse forever. Meanwhile, Mira and I launched our own company helping innovators succeed without losing their dignity or dreams.